Okay, I was asked to create a video on how to use our page maps to make a digital layout. For the most part, the page maps initially are just made to inspire the layout and just used for usually just as a basic inspiration that you can copy and get a visual layout for. However, our page maps are PDFs, and if you have Illustrator and Photoshop, they could actually be broken down and used to create a layout very quickly in Photoshop. Um, you could also use Inkscape as well as GIMP. Those are a couple of free programs. Inkscape is similar to Illustrator, and GIMP is similar to Photoshop. I will be doing my demo with Illustrator and Photoshop because those are the programs that I know best. I will kind of show you in Inkscape how to break apart the PDF because I don't think that is just um, easy knowledge. However, for the most part, I'm going to be doing it, like I said, in Illustrator and Photoshop. So first, before I begin, if you do have Inkscape, I'm going to show you how to break apart the PDF. Going back to Inkscape. Um, oh, sorry, I already opened it. Let me open a new. We'll just go ahead and open a new file. Just go to new. I'm just going to say default. I don't think I have a 12 by 12 in here, but we can change that. And I'm going to go ahead and edit the document by going to File, Document Properties, change this to inches, and 12 by 12. And then close that out. Now I'm going to go to Import, File, Import, grab my 12 by 12 PDF, and uncheck Embed Images, make sure Import Text is there, and press OK. Now Inkscape, you can work with all vector objects. Now this is still one image right now, so you're going to have to break it apart, and you're going to go to Object, Ungroup. And for the most part it's ungroup, but I've noticed that it doesn't ungroup. Some things you have to ungroup more than once. You can also right click, ungroup again. For some reason I've had to ungroup several times before things will totally break apart. I think this one is the same way. Alright, so that's broken apart, and you can use these individual images in your layout as well. Going back to Illustrator though, I have it already opened. It's really easy to just go ahead and we're going to start with the bottom layer first. I'm going to click on this image and just copy, Control C, and go to Photoshop. And I've already created a 12 by 12 canvas here, but if you need to, just go ahead and go to New and create it 12 by 12. Anyhow, I'm just going to go to Paste, Edit, and Paste. You can paste just as pixels since it's the right size, but if you do need it bigger or smaller, you want to paste as smart object so you can resize it. So just press enter to keep that there. The other thing I'm going to go ahead and do, I already opened up, if you have Charmingly your Noteworthy bundles or whatever paper packs you want to use, you want to go ahead and use the Try Me Now tool. Make sure you're signed in, and you can grab whatever paper you want. I already opened the first paper. I know I'm also going to use the chevron right here, so I'll go ahead and open that and just press save. And then I'm going to just open it directly into Photoshop. And then I also know I'm going to use this little dot right here. Save that. And this kind of greenish one has a stripe on it that I'm going to use. Get these all opened into Photoshop. So starting with my dot, since that's the bottom layer, I'm going to click on that and press so it selects the whole thing, and Control C to copy it. Now go back to my layout and go to the bottommost layer and just paste it, Control V, so that my paper's at the bottom there. I'm just going to move that over about where I think it's going to go. And now I'm going to go back to Illustrator and grab my next layer. This is actually going to be a graphic that I'm going to pull from Noteworthy. I'm not even going to bother to put that in Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, well, that one's probably the next layer. So Control C and back to Photoshop and Control V. Enter. I'm not going to place it yet. I'm just going to go ahead and grab everything that I want. This little image here, Control Copy, Control V, paste. Now I'm going to grab my two photo frames and this guy, Control Copy, back to Photoshop and paste. If you can see, I wasn't in the right layer, so it pasted underneath, but just go ahead and click on the layer and drag it above so that it's on top. And it doesn't matter that the words are on, because we're going to just paste directly over it and make a clipping mask. And now the last thing I need to grab from this is just this photo frame. Control Copy and Control Paste. And move that into place. Now I'm going to go ahead and just start filling up my images with the paper fills. So going back to the papers, I'm going to go to the chevron, Control Alt and Control Copy, go back to my layout here, and I'm going to click on the layer that I want to paste above and just Control V for paste. And now I'm going to create a clipping mask. So you're going to go right click on that layer and create clipping mask. And you can see that it just filled that area. Now I'm going to go back to that image and actually just create a drop shadow. I am also going to go ahead and create an inner glow just because I like the way that looks. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to change the color to dark. Oh, and probably just adjust the token size a little bit to whatever you want, and the opacity maybe. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other, at least the drop shadow part. And you can adjust your drop shadow to whatever you want. If you're okay with just the default, just click on drop shadow and we'll do it. If you want to adjust it, actually click on drop shadow, not just the little box next to it, and you can adjust the opacity and the distance, spread and size, as well as the color. So I'm still continuing to create just drop shadows right now because I think it's easier to see it. Alright, and now I'm going to go to my stripes. Control Alt, Control C, copy. Go back to my layout. Make sure you're clicked on the layer that you want to paste it into and paste above. Now right click on the layer and create clipping mask. I'm going to go ahead and just fill in the things without it recording, so I'm just going to press pause. Okay, as you can see ahead and fill it in, including the photos, use the same type of thing where I create a clipping mask for the photos. As you can see, my photos are not black and white yet. That's really easy to do. You just go ahead and click on the photo that you want to make black and white. And you're going to go down to the layers menu and you see the little black and white circle. Click on that and click on black and white. And I'm going to, right now it's under my photo, so you have to just raise it just above so it'll affect that photo and create it black and white. You can also double click on it or just the black and white with the adjustments bar right here if you want, or if you are okay with how it looks initially, then just leave it how it is. But here's the adjustments bar for that layer if you want to just play with that as well. I'm going to head ahead and do each one. Well, these ones should do it at the same time, hopefully. Black and white, and there we go. And if you want to create the inner glows as well, you actually need to create it on the layer that we did the mask above. So double click on that where your drop shadow is, inner glow, and I'm just going to change the color of the shadow. I'm going to go ahead and change it to color burn. Oops. I made the choke too much. I just want a slight glow darkness there. And I changed the opacity too. And press OK, and then I gotta do it to this photo as well. Remember, you're doing it to the layer underneath, inner glow, change the blend mode into color burn, change the color to dark, and just barely adjust it as you need. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing to my tab, but this time I am going to kind of do the reverse. Inner glow, and I'm going to do a color dodge. Adjust the chocolate size to what you want and the opacity. And then I'm going to actually change it to a whiter white. Okay. Now that's done. So now it's just a matter of bringing in your graphics as well. So go back to Lettering Delights, and you want to go ahead and use the Try Me Now tool on the Charmingly Noteworthy graphic set. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the sixth one over here. Just press Save and Open. Control All and copy. Go back to your layout and paste it there. And I actually want it a little bit smaller, so I'm going to right click on it, convert to Smart Object, and size down just a little bit. And then enter, and Control T, because I'm going to just angle it. You might actually want to do your typing on it before you adjust it, because it's easier to type straight than at an angle. But right now I'm not going to bother to type in all the info, and so just to get the idea across and put it kind of where you want it. Another idea would be to do this in pieces and actually cut it out and layer it if you want to, so that you can have a physical scrapbook page and then print it off. Then I'm going to go ahead now and grab from the graphic set, just the regular fall graphic set, Try Me Now tool, and I'm going to grab this Paisley print right here, save, and open. And copy, and Control V to paste it. And again, I'm going to want to size it down, and it's not in the right place. We want it right on top. So I'm just moving the layer up, right click, convert to Smart Object, and just size it down to about where you want it. Enter, And then Control T if you need to adjust it. Enter. And then the last graphic that we want is actually again from the noteworthy set. So go ahead and grab You Are Loved, save it, and then open it. Control Alt to copy it, then go back to your layout and paste. And you can size it if you need to. Now, I ended up not using the flower that's on the PDF. You can if you want. I used a button instead, but if you want to go ahead and grab that flower, it is back on the other graphic set, and it's just this turquoise flower right there. Okay. Anyhow, for the most part, that basically explains how to put it together. The only last thing you need to put in is your typing, and if you want to do any other adjustments. But I hope that was easy to understand. Good luck.